Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and welcome to today's Japa inspiration. We just ended the Sangamela festival in Golokadam, which was very, very beautiful. And in one of his lectures, His Holiness Sachinandana Swami was mentioning the importance of being in the presence of the Lord, to feel the Lord's presence in our life. And it encouraged me to prepare this Japa inspiration in this sense that we are actually not alone, that the Lord is there when we chant the holy name, and we are not alone hearing our mantras, but the Lord is also there hearing our mantras or listening even. I think last Monday, 2 weeks ago, we were speaking of chanting full mantras to not miss some of the mantras. And the next day, there was in the temple room one devotee who was there in the Japa inspiration, and he was chanting a little loud. And after sometimes I thought, okay, let me listen to his chanting. And most of the time, what I could hear was Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. There was like half mantra, actually, half of each mantra that of Krishna and Rama that was missing. So if we think that Krishna is listening to our chanting, we can actually try our best to chant it properly. Sometimes I think I mentioned already, but in my mantra, sometimes I miss Krishna, Krishna. I have only one instead of having two together. And sometimes I know when Vajanti is around me when I chant and she is not chanting, she might be listening. And if she listened to my chanting, she will say, "Oh, Gaurahari, you again miss Krishna." So if we are aware that actually the Lord is listening to our mantras, then it can give us impetus to actually chant nicely our rounds, our mantras. Huh? And that's a little bit what we want to do today, because chanting the holy name is like entering the altar room. It's a place we enter into a realm where it's Radha and Krishna are very, very much present, and where actually the world is fading away. When we are in the altar room, usually we forget much of what is about this world. We just enter into another dimension, and we would like actually our Japa time to be like this, that we forget everything else from the world, but we enter now into this dimension of being in the presence of Radha and Krishna. And my spiritual master will say, when we chant, we should know that Krishna becomes attentive to us. He is listening to us. Oh, someone calls my name. Immediately, a connection is established. And in the Adi Purana, the Lord said that he keeps a list of all those who chant, and he keeps this list in the heart. That means he's very, very happy that we are chanting his holy name. So we want now to try to chant and be aware that the Lord is there with us at this moment and that he is listening to our mantras. Here in Golokadam, we have a big fortune to be just next to Shishi Radha Madan Mohan, who are shining waves of beauty to our thirsty eyes. But if you don't have such a darshan, please also visualize a deity of your choice, or a picture of Radha and Krishna, or a picture of Krishna that you like very much, and feel it's their presence when you chant, knowing very well that they are actually now listening to your chanting. So whenever the minds wander, whenever you noticed, we bring it back, remembering that actually they are here and they are listening to us. And I will have a very beautiful picture of Bilva Mangala Thakur chanting and having Krishna in front of him, looking like this and just listening. Because what matters most is not always the words, but it's the way we say the words. We can say many things, but the way we say it might be actually making a lot of difference. And Krishna is not directly listening what we say, but is listening to the voice of our mantra. What is actually our mood? What is actually our bhav when we chant the holy name? So this will be for the first inspiration. Hare Krishna. So we'll try to go a little step deeper today. We are thinking of chanting in the association of Radha and Krishna, meaning that they are there next to us as we are chanting the holy name. And Danudar Swami gave a very interesting example. He said, imagine you are waiting at the bus station. You are maybe very close to people physically, but in your heart, you are very distant from them because you don't know them. You don't have any relationship with them. So in the same way, we might be chanting the holy name and feel extremely distant from the Lord. But if, let's say, we are in the bus station and we start to interact with a person or speak with a person, then we will know the person, and then a relationship is actually starting and established. So in the same way, in our chanting of the holy name, if we start to interact with the Lord who is there patiently listening to us, then this sambandha or this relationship become activated. So we are meditating that the Lord is there and He's listening to our chanting. And what does He listen from our chanting? What is in our heart that He's listening? What are we telling Him through our chanting? And there we come actually close to the meaning of the Maha Mantra. My dear Lord, please engage me in your loving service. Please accept me, so on and so forth. This is what the Maha Mantra means, what we are saying when we are chanting the Maha Mantra. Mahatma Prabhu gave a very interesting perspective of what we can tell to the Lord when we chant the holy name. What is the mood? What our words of the Maha Mantra are saying to Krishna? And he was saying, you tell to Krishna through the Maha Mantra what are your deepest spiritual aspiration, what you really would like spiritual in your relationship with Radha and Krishna. What is your deepest aspiration? So as we chant, we try to express those aspirations that are in our heart to Radha and Krishna by chanting the holy name. So whenever the minds wander, we bring it back. I'm now chanting. I'm now in the association of Radha and Krishna, and I'm speaking to them through my Maha Mantra, and I'm telling them what is my deepest aspiration. I was just remembering that those who make computer programming, they actually write most of what they have to write with just zero and ones. 0, 1, and just the combination of that is sufficient actually to transmit to the computer what they want to do. And for us in our relationship with Krishna is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the way of connecting, the way of expressing or speaking with Krishna with the Maha Mantra. And I was just remembering when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri and they were cleaning the Gundicha Marjan, they were all chanting the Maha Mantra, and they will say Hare Krishna, and that will be, please give me the bucket. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. They were speaking the Maha Mantra, but they were communicating actually with the Maha Mantra. And this is our very personal communication with Radha and Krishna through the chanting of the holy name. Now for the last part of today's workshop, we would like to listen more what Krishna is telling us through the Maha Mantra. I often heard in lecture that you can hear the voice of Krishna, you can train to hear the voice of Krishna by hearing the holy name, because this will purify our consciousness, and then we can actually listen to Krishna's voice. So we will try to actually listen very carefully to the Maha Mantra and try to listen if Krishna is telling us something through the Maha Mantra. If we want to have a harmonious relationship with someone, it's not enough to just speak to the person. We should also be able to listen from the person. Both are extremely important if you want a relationship. And I like very much this example of mentors who are actually listening very, very carefully to their mentee. They don't think, oh, what will I answer immediately, or why is saying this, or why. They just listen. They just powerfully listen without making any judgment, without any other thoughts. And that's actually a very powerful way to listen, by actually really just be there with the sound vibration. Just listen carefully and see if Krishna is telling us something. Of course, we need to be patient, mantra after mantra after mantra, but to be there, just listening and just be attentive and aware if Krishna wants to transmit something to us as we are chanting the holy name. So we try to listen carefully to all the names and be attentive and try to hear if Krishna tells us something. We go deeper in this relationship with Radha and Krishna in our chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this Japa session. I'm not sure if anyone could hear Krishna's voice through the Maha Mantra. Maybe we need to listen to purify our ears a little bit longer. I was thinking, even if I would hear 16 rounds really attentive for Krishna's voice, then most probably I will hear something after after 16 rounds of listening. And one might not hear like a very distinct voice, but one can, it's on a very subtle level that the exchange take place, and one might hear maybe give yourself, or surrender, or something, some small call that the Lord has given already so many times in Bhagavad Gita and in other scriptures. We might get some of those messages coming. But the idea is really, from this last exercise, is to really be in the mood of being a receiver and just being available, just being attentive, just being open for receiving whatever the holy name wants to give us. So I thank you very much for your participation today. I wish you a wonderful week. And the idea was really we come closer in this relationship with Radha and Krishna in the holy name, by listening to them, by expressing to them what is our innermost desire, and having this intimate relationship with them through the medium of the chanting of the holy name. So wishing you all the best. Krishna willing, we meet next Monday and wish you a wonderful Japa week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I look forward to these Japa sessions. Hare Krishna.
Bye.